a girl just a few years old. It was unusual to get a slab stone like that. That has been lost numerous times. As a matter of fact, yesterday I came out here to sweep these off and I couldn't find it because it had gotten covered up with debris from the mowing and the leaves. But I knew it was between those two trees, and so I cleaned it off and edged around it. Just unusual in the fact that most children did not get slab stones. They usually got small ones like these. Now bear in mind also, have any of you ever been to Elmwood? Okay, if you've been to Elmwood, you know the statuary out there is absolutely magnificent. And with one or two exceptions, you're not going to find any of that here. And one of the reasons why is that Raleigh Cemetery was always a small town, rural cemetery. These, generally speaking, were not rich people that were buried out here. These were not the movers and shakers of Shelby County. They were farmers, small merchants in Raleigh, people associated with the government during the days of the courthouse and the jail were out here. So most of them did not have the money for rich and grand mausoleums and monuments and expensive statuary, etc., etc., etc. I think that's one of the reasons possibly I like this cemetery so much. This is where I would have gotten buried, probably. These are the common people out here. Now, let's kind of step back here. We've got a couple of family plots here. Those bricks were dug up. They probably should have not been dug up. They were, basically those bricks are the vaults from unmarked graves that are in there. They need to be reburied. I'll talk about the plot there. That's the Pope plot is over there. That's an important plot. Now, the McKnights here were a family. They were related to Amanda Shelby. In fact, Margaret and Amanda Shelby were sisters. And if you look at the dates here, the 1840s, late 1840s, 1850s were not good for the McKnights. They all died of Rome. Thaddeus was their last son. The stone that is on the ground is the grandson of the McKnights. There was one child survived as enlisted an old person, but he left and moved to Texas, I believe. So these are the McKnight stones. This plot over here is the Shelby plot. It's rumored sometimes that this is who Shelby County was named after. It wasn't. Shelby County was named after Isaac Shelby, who was a military person, a governor of Kentucky, and John Shelby was his nephew. But John Shelby and he came to Shelby County, and he was a farmer out here, and he was related to, his wife was a sister of Mrs. McDaniel, and they were Rudisville, whose graves are behind them, and behind them are the Henry graves. I've never been able to make it. They've all got to be related somehow. I understand the relationship between the Shelbys and the Rudisvilles. Where the Henrys come in, I don't have a clue. But in that plot, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 gravestones lying on the ground. And the problem is, and some of the bases have been found, but none of them seem to match. And so we don't really know where they go. And I think eventually there's going to be probably just 2 bases, and they'll be put up somewhat expensive because we can't leave them laying on the ground forever. One of my favorite stones out here, though, is this stone of Evan Shelby. It's named after, Evan Shelby was, John Shelby's father was Evan Shelby, who was Isaac Shelby's brother. So he named his son after his father. But if you look at that stone has been here since, I believe, 1844. And that is a very, very unique stone. Looks like it was etched last week. It never soiled much. It's a remarkable type of stone, and I've seen the stone out at Elmwood also, and it's always perfect out there also. And nobody knows what kind of stone it is. Yet, nobody at Elmwood knows what kind of stone it is. I've never been able to figure out what kind of stone it is. But if you want a good gravestone, find that stone. Think of it as been weathering out here all those years. It still looks like that. Absolutely remarkable. This plot needs a lot of work. One of the problems, every year I say I'm going to come out here and work on it. The problem is that within the next month, the grass out here is going to be almost as high as our knees. And as the summer goes along, it's going to be as high as your hip. And it is almost impossible to get, particularly for me, the older I get, equipment and the materials back this far to do the work that needs to be done. So until we figure out a system to keep this place mowed and maintained, the plot unfortunately will probably remain somewhat like that. Let's go back to the Popes over here. I think they're an interesting family.